Hey, welcome back. Oh man, today is the show. This is our 50th show of one-on-one. And I want to feature the people I really care about. People who made this show happen. I get the joy of being in front of this camera and showing this beautiful face to you every week. But what really makes this show work? The people behind the cameras, the people in the control room. It's time that you meet the real people behind One-on-One. My name is Vin Dacquino. Our first guest today is Armanda Famaleri. Armanda.
Vinny.
Talk to me. You have been coming here faithfully for one-on-one. What motivates you to get here and deal with all of this commotion?
Well, it's a lot of fun, Vinny.
It is fun.
It's great to work with you and all the other volunteers here at Comcast Public Access. I think that this is a tremendous resource for all of the organizations in town who can come on here, get great promotion and publicity for their programs, for their organizations, and it's all free, you know. The training is free.
And so is your work here, which is amazing. All this volunteer work, you're here faithfully, and you kind of have some aspirations of your own.
Well, I do, Vinny. I feel like I want to get the word out about how great public access and community
You've done
media.
a couple shows.
I did. I did a behind the scenes at Comcast Public Media to show how easy it is to come in, to volunteer, to get trained for free. And then once you are working here and you pass the training course, then you're able to use the cameras. You're able to produce your own show. You're able to edit your own show because that's part of the training as well. So it's a great way if you want to get the word out about your organization, anyone else's organization, and the good work that happens in Carmel every day. That's, for me, is the reason that I give up so much of my time to come in and work on shows like yours, and also to produce my own show, which is called Locally Sourced, which is shown on Comcast every Thursday night at 7:30. And it's great fun to do. It's wonderful to meet everybody in town. I mean, I feel like I know so many people now because of the show.
And you wear many hats. You have produced shows. You've directed shows, you've run cameras, you've done graphics, you do editing. Man, you're an everything person.
Yeah, and you know, the funny part is that I never did any of these things. You know, I had a career for 30 years working in Manhattan, and so when I retired, I saw the ad in the paper that said, would you like to be a television producer? Would you like to learn how to do this? And I thought, that sounds like a really fun thing to do and a way for me to continue to support local communities. So I took advantage of the training. I came in and I got to meet all these great people who also volunteer here who I probably wouldn't have been able to meet
it's
because
a great cast.
It is,
I mean, it's
right?
a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun working with these people because they work together so well.
Yeah, and it's very creative. It's a great creative outlet. You know, I'm not a good visual artist, but I really like putting a show together and, you know, being able to direct, being able to help
And
other
you're good at it.
volunteers. Well, thank you. I'm a newbie and I'm not that good, but thanks anyways. And it's just been a really nice piece of my life.
We can't thank you enough. Keep doing what you're doing, and thank you for all you've done for us.
Oh, well, you're welcome, Vinny. It's a pleasure to be here.
Pleasure to have you. Thank you so much.
There's going to be someone else coming into
Yeah,
this
let's
seat,
get someone else
right?
in.
So,
a pleasure. Linda, I know you're out there somewhere. I'd like you to meet someone else. We have the amazing Linda Shaw. And Linda Shaw is one of the troublemakers who started all this. Linda, pleasure to have you here. About 4 years ago, Linda, who is part of the writers group at the Mayapack Library, came to me and said, Vinny, I'm into something new, and I'm going to be producing a show, and I wondered if you could do a show with me. And I said, oh, Linda, that would be wonderful. Sure, I'll do a show. 150 shows later, Linda Shaw, we're still going. You have been faithful and true. You produced 100 Let's Talk writing shows. We had writers from everywhere. Talk to me about your motivation to do this.
Well, like Armanda said, I received a thing in the mail asking if I'd like to get involved in TV production, public access. And since I had done some of that in college, I said yes and took the opportunity. And I produced a couple of shows.
Yeah.
And then I thought, oh, Vin Dacquino, he'd be fabulous, because I hadn't been at the writers group in a while.
Yeah.
So that's when I first contacted you.
Yeah.
And
our first show,
we are.
our first show was a young author,
oh,
Jennifer Ciata, who was wonderful, and she got our blood boiling, and then just went from one to the other to the other. We ended up doing 100 of those shows, and now we're into another whole thing, and you're still with us.
Well, you're 100 and this is 150 for you.
150.
50 of this show, but 150 plus. I think you did a couple of other things.
Yeah, with a couple
too.
other in there, so we're probably maybe at 155. Put that mic closer. Linda, I just want to publicly thank you for all you've done. You stood by me, you believed in me, you believed in the show, you believed in what it could be, and the show wouldn't even be here if it were not for your inspiration. So thank you so much for all you do.
Well, thank you for everything and
Pleasure.
for all the wonderful shows that you produce.
Another guest that we're proud to bring up today is a guy who has been here pretty much for all 150 shows. Not only is he a great cameraman, but he's a personal friend. Been with me for a long time. The great Andy Campbell.
I like that appellation.
Andy, why do you do this?
I would have to say friendship. If Vinny wants to do it, I got to help if I possibly can. It's a little more complicated than that because this is basically what I would do if I could do it. Getting around, finding interesting people in the county, which is no trouble.
Yeah, a lot of interesting people in
certainly
this
for
county.
Vinny, and get them to say what they've got to say. It's
You've been with me even for the writers group. A lot of interesting writers, a lot of interesting people. Andy, I admire your passion and your commitment. You believe in giving. You are a giver in every way.
That's not the no. That's not the. I do it because I think people need to get access to their lives,
Yeah.
their own lives, and they do it through writing or making shows or talking. But they've got to do it seriously, and Vinny can do that. I couldn't possibly do that.
Well, Vinny can't do it without the people behind him who do all the things to make it work. And Andy, you are without a doubt
Yep.
one of those people.
Well, Vinny's got the idea that the program is him up here talking. Without the camera, that would be radio.
Well, thank you for being the wind beneath my wings, Andy. I
Oh,
appreciate
thank
it.
you. No,
Thank
you're
you.
doing it for me.
Excellent. Let's hear from Dylan Cudzillo. Dylan is relatively new in terms of the filming we've done here. Not so much for one-on-one. He's been with us pretty much all the way through that. He wasn't here for Let's Talk Writing, but man, since you came on the scene, things have been a whole lot smoother. Dylan, talk to me a little bit about what you do and why you do it.
I do it because I enjoy the challenge.
Yeah.
I love the technical aspect of all the shows. I like the behind the scenes, button pressing kind of stuff. I love when you have to figure out how you're going to get this show done. When you run into a problem, how you're going to fix it and do it in real time. That's the real fun for me. I love all that stuff.
One of the things people don't realize is that to do a show like this, sometimes you need to do some work in advance.
Yeah.
And I've had the wonderful opportunity when we film on a Wednesday, I'm here on a Tuesday with you, and you help me with the graphics. Man, technologically, I'm a mess. I get in there and I just can't remember all those little details. I'm always fascinated at the fact that you know what you're doing, when you're doing it. You put me at ease. When you're around, I feel comfortable. So I want to thank you for that.
No problem. That's definitely why I like doing this stuff. I like teaching all the other volunteers here how to use the equipment. That's really
So
the
you're
awesome part
active
for
in
me.
some of the classes that take place.
Yeah, so we do training courses here at Comcast. So anybody in the public can come here, take a training course, and then they can learn how to use this equipment here.
Yeah, we want to make sure that people understand that there is a course that's given here at Comcast Studio. You take this course for 6 weeks, and you have a ticket to use this equipment. You actually can come in here and produce your own show. You can run a camera. I'll never forget the excitement on my wife's face. My wife, who really is not into this kind of thing, she came and took the course and ran a camera. She was so proud of herself. It's something more to do with your life, an exciting new venture. Come out and take that venture. Put your hands in Dylan's hands, and he will help you, along with Jennifer and some of the other people here. Dylan, can't thank you enough.
No problem.
Thank you for being behind me.
Absolutely.
Giving me that little push. Our next guest is another person who has been here for quite a while. He's been involved in not only Let's Talk Writing, but also one-on-one. Nick, pleasure to have you here.
Thank you, Vinny.
Nick, you faithfully get behind that camera. You do the things you need to do. You have been ill a couple times. Came in anyway. Said, you know what, I've got to be there. What motivates you to get here each time?
Well, I originally took the course to help out a friend of mine who couldn't get crew. And part of the situation is that a lot of people don't know about Comcast Channel 8. And they just don't, a lot of people have busy schedules and can't make it to be crew members. So I took the course and...
Yeah, and you pretty much run a camera, and you do it well. How is that? I mean, did you ever think you were going to run a camera someday?
Well, no, I never did, frankly, but...
But you do it well.
It's a new skill that you learn, that
Yeah.
you can't sit at home all the time.
I hear you. And you're getting
retired,
better
so-
all the time.
Okay.
You're getting those shots right. I could be a challenge.
Well, yeah, there are, that it's full of TV's
Yeah.
full of challenges,
and the crew handles them beautifully. When times when I'm ready to go into crisis mode, they're like, relax, and things do work out.
Yeah.
I mean, 150 shows, man, that's a lot of shows. And this show alone, 50 shows. We were going to pilot one-on-one. Well, our pilot has come into 50 shows. We're not done yet. So, Nick, thank you for all you've done, and thank you for what I know you'll do in the future.
Well, I thank
Thanks for being part
Comcast
of
and
us.
you for helping me to learn a new skill.
Well, thank you.
All right.
Our next guest is the amazing Jennifer Hanneberg. No? The amazing Mario Rickaby? Jennifer was sitting in the control room, running things, going, "Oh my God, I'm not next. I'm not next." Well, as
I don't know about amazing.
Mario, man, director extraordinaire. You originally started out on the camera, made your way to director. You've done some pretty interesting things as director. Talk to me about that. Talk to me
Well-
about what you do, why you're here.
Well, actually,
Yeah.
I've been doing this for about 40 years.
Really?
Yeah. I retired in 2013 and got bored really quickly. And at the
Yeah, I
time,
know that feeling.
we saw the ad from Comcast, and I asked my wife, who I met in a television studio, and said, "Hey, what do you think? You want to do this again?" And she looked at it and she said, "Sure." And we came in and we took the class.
Yeah.
And the rest is pretty much history.
Yeah, you know, you have been a wonderful asset. You have some great ideas. You find new ways to see things.
They're actually old ways.
Well, new to us, and it has helped the show immensely. It's really a pleasure and a treasure to have you.
And you are the same, because in reality, the reason that I'm still here doing this in all of this time is because of the quality of your show, the quality of the people that you find and you bring in. It really makes the show have meaning rather
Thank you
than
for
just
that.
another, just another talking head. You actually get information here. You actually get communication, and that's what this whole industry is about.
Yeah, and bringing people together, getting the message out to people that community is what it's all about.
Absolutely.
And passion, having a reason to get up in the morning and be excited about the day.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you for helping with that passion. Thank you for being one of us.
Thank you. Off me.
And now, the great Jennifer Hanneberg. Jennifer is often in the control room, making sure everything's happening. She has been pretty much running what goes on here. So as the manager of the studio, she really is the one that made all of this possible. She keeps things going here. And it does appear that she is camera shy right now. And we'll get her out here eventually, even if we have to carry her out. Our next person is a person I can't say enough about. Gil Mail is a very unusual man. He is also a giver. He has worked with the Putnam County vets for some time. He works especially with the Joseph P. Dwyer Vet-to-Vet program. I can't thank him enough for what he's done, and I have to tell you how excited he got when we had the United for the Troops group here. Gil said, listen, we have to get some bags together, and we have to fill it with things for the troops. That day, we had so many different products that the crew, people you're meeting today, got together. And we sent those packages out to our troops. Sometimes people don't realize what it takes to give a little of your heart. And there's so many people who need so much. Real question is, why do I do this? None of us that you saw today get paid for this. And yet, we get paid plenty. We get paid in the gratification we get from touching other people in ways that needs to be done. We have had on this show people such as Joe Chidina. Now, Joe is a writer in the Mahopac Library. And he came to that program almost scared to death to reveal who he really was. And who he really is a heartfelt person with OCD. While he was growing up, he went through so much pain and agony, ended up in a halfway house, almost committed suicide. Just recently wrote a book called The Boy Who Cried Suicide. A fantastic book. Now, do I dare tell you all these private things about him? He did. He came right here on this show, and he poured his heart out, wrote a book, and you know what? He will be back again for a one-on-one show. What he's going to do, he's bringing his mother here. And the two of them are going to talk about those sometimes painful experiences of growing up. Joe is not the only one who has come out here, put his heart on his sleeve for you. We've had people who run a horse rescue mission place. Not only do they rescue horses, but they rescue people who go there and build a relationship, find themselves. We've had several vet programs, veterans who have served our country, who have come here to talk about some of the things they had to endure. People reaching out to people. We had a program called Bonnie Boxes, a woman who gathers boxes together for cancer patients, people who need a little lift, people who need a little sunshine in a dark, cloudy day. These are people who understand we cannot stand alone. We need each other. Some of the other more recent people who have written songs, who write from their heart, who get up in the middle of the night and realize they have something to say, so they write music or poems or novels. We had a young boy here, Sean Callahan, a 12-year-old boy. I've known Sean since he was a baby. He came on this show with his mother, and he spoke to us about never giving up. A boy who suffered through cancer. This boy came on here, showed unbelievable courage. Shortly after that, he went to the Mayapack High School, stood in front of bleachers of people, asking them to help out in the cause for cancer. He was the leading donation getter for cancer. Shortly after, cancer got him. And we lost Sean, but not completely. I've just written a book called Flowers by the Roadside. In that book, I write it in memory of Sean Callahan, who understood more than any adult I've ever known that we need each other. This is not simply a talk show. This is a show about passion and caring and giving. I can't thank you enough for tuning into this show, and I can't thank you enough for understanding that we all need each other. Do you have a story to tell? Are you giving each day? Do we need to hear your story? Yes, we do. VTD1234@AOL.com. VTD1234@AOL.com. Shoot me an email. Say, Vin, I have a story to tell. I want to be on your show. I want people to know that I understand that we all need each other. A community is nothing without its people. It's time to join together. Time to do what this crew does every single week. Get together, be together, and work to get something done. I hope I didn't miss anybody in our crew. I do want to thank Comcast for making this possible, for giving us the opportunity to do this show. I want to remind you that we need people. A course will be offered shortly. Get in touch with Comcast. The studio is on Old Route 6, right next to the bowling alley. Come see us, take the course, learn how to run a camera, sound, light. It's exciting. Don't you dare say your life is boring when there is an exciting opportunity just waiting for you. Thank you for joining us week after week. It has been a pleasure. One-on-one means one-on-one. Come join us. And again, special thanks to the crew putting up with me all of these shows, all of this time, and for giving back to their community.